everyone. I'm Amy Hauser, and I am so glad to be here to have the opportunity to do a little bit of breath work, meditative time together. This is going to be a brief introduction, really, to just some breath work and some centering time, some time for you. And we are going to begin with some heart brain coherence. We're going to do a little bit of breath work. We're going to do a little bit of meditative, reflective time together. Just taking the time to slow down, to unplug from just the hecticness of life, the to-do list that just keeps going, the tasks in front of us, the people to connect with, and connecting here. And so if you have been familiar with the Mirror Word Bible, we're going to use that and a little bit of language as we come in experientially with the Mirror Word. And so I've got my Mirror Word Bible in front of me, and I am just glancing in 2 Corinthians chapter 7, and it's really throughout the text, as Francois so eloquently integrates the word metanoia. And so this is a little bit of what we're doing when we're experiencing some meditative time, reflective time inward. Metanoia here is described as realizing God's thoughts. And so that's what we're doing, is slowing down to know that we know in our knower that we can connect with the triune God, that we are one, and then in that metanoia can come in and connect. It says, like most Greek words, metanoia is a compound word from meta, together with which that is to perceive in the mind. It describes the awakening of the mind, that which is true, a realignment of one's reasoning, and a gathering of one's co-knowing. So what we know, gnosko, that intimate knowing, that we know something in our heart. We may see it or we may not, but then we can connect deeper within to this knowing. And so another thing in the mirror that I want to just kind of start off with, and the understanding the Bible section in the mirror, Francois talks about that to discover yourself in the mirror is the key that unlocks the door to our divine encounters. And so as we're going about our day, sometimes we're very aware of that oneness or that connection, and sometimes we are not at all aware that we're in that union. And to realize that we have that reflection within us all of the time may require some practice. And so that's why I love meditative practice. I love breath work, is slowing down and listening to what's really going on, quieting that subconscious. So we bring science and we bring the truth of the Trinity, that life in us together. And sometimes we're explaining and experiencing things a little bit scientifically. And so we can move out of the things that we just know in our conscious mind and move into the realization of what we really know deep within. And so our subconscious mind does get programmed with things in the world. And sometimes we have to learn to shut that out and allow space for the truth to rise up. And so we're going to spend some time right now just sitting. So whether you want to sit on a couch or you want to be on the floor, I'm sitting on a cushion on the floor. Sometimes I bring a block and I slide that right under my sit bones, and that elevates me up. If I want to sit crisscross leg, I can do that. I'm not going to for this. We're just sitting, comfortably in a chair, but the ideal is sitting up nice and tall. So then we can lengthen our spine. We can relax our pelvic bowl into the cushions. So just finding a place that's comfortable for you, whether your feet are flat on the ground or like me, I like to sit crisscross applesauce and just get comfortable. And the more I sit without having something against my back, the easier it becomes and the more strength I gain throughout my spinal column and all of the muscles that surround that spine. Lengthen. I'm softening my shoulders and I'm relaxing. I'm pulling my belly in towards the spine to protect my back. But sitting up against a flat, surface or in a chair or the back of the couch is perfectly fine as well. Just get comfortable. And once you've arrived in a comfortable spot, I invite you to either close your eyes or maybe soften your gaze. So softening your gaze simply just means I'm looking at a focal point, maybe down my nose, maybe at the ground in front of me, but still keeping my neck upright. Or you can keep your eyes open if that's more comfortable for you. I like to just rest my hands on my legs. And I invite you to just tune into your breath. Not changing anything about your breath, but just simply observing. Notice if the breath lands down deep in the belly. Now, of course, it's in the lungs, but we have that experience or that feeling that maybe the breath is in the belly. And when we breathe in, the belly expands like a balloon. And it contracts and pulls back in on the exhale. Maybe your breath is residing a bit on the side. You feel that in your ribs. Or perhaps it's in the chest. Or in the throat. Or sometimes we just feel the breath more in our face and in our head. No judgment, just observation. Notice the rise and fall of these various parts within the body. And with meditative time, our goal is to stay present. So you may hear mindfulness used. That's really the practice of the presence. Brother Lawrence practiced the presence of just bringing our awareness off of the past, off of the future, staying in the moment right here and right now. This is where life is, right here, right now. And so we can use the breath, that Ruah breath, to bring us into awareness. Softening as you observe the breath. When thoughts rise up and come into the mind, just allow them to just float by like clouds. Not being critical of yourself for having thoughts pop in, to-do lists come up. Our mind has been programmed to do these things. Just come back to the breath. Now I invite you to soften shoulders. Allowing your scapula, those shoulder blades, really to just melt as if they're melting into your back pockets. Softening through the forehead. Allowing just a gentle Ruach breath to soften the forehead, the eyebrows, space between the eyebrows. Allow your eyes to settle into their sockets and rest. Relaxing the jaw. Perhaps even a little space opens between the upper and the lower teeth. Just allowing the unclenching. A softening through the ears and the neck and the throat. Relaxing the hands as you observe your breath. As we move into a practice of heart and brain coherence, I invite you to bring the awareness of your breath into that heart space, that heart center. And if you'd like, you can even place one of your hands over your heart. That would be just a little bit to the left of that spinal column in the center space. And observe the feeling of that breath. And I invite you to imagine with the next inhale as if your heart is actually breathing. So you're using your mind to picture your sanctified imagination, picturing your heart expand with that inhalation. And on the exhale, feeling and seeing that heart contract. With the next inhale, again, see that organ, see that tissue, see all of those arteries, all of those valves, seeing those chambers fill with life with that inhale. And with the exhale, allowing it to soften and come back, nestling within the chest wall with all the other organs surrounding it. Continue this practice of this breath, breathing in through the nose and releasing through the mouth. Of course, you're welcome to breathe in through the nose, filling, 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 and releasing through the nose as well. For this simple introductory practice, let's breathe in through the nose and release through the mouth. Softening through the shoulders. And now just bringing that awareness as your mind engages with this space within the body, seeing this heart open and fill and be refreshed and recharged, and then calming, contracting with the exhale. We are engaging both the mind and the heart. And so the heart sends out the signal into the world of what it is that we want, what it is we desire, what it is that is constantly going through our subconscious and our conscious mind. So we send those signals out as we bring our awareness with our mind to these feelings, to these sensations. And the mind will pull back what the heart sends out. And so when these two work in conjunction, there is so much power. So as we generate life, we begin to open up to gratitude as you continue to breathe in and out. We're pulling in those things we desire, that realization of our union, our oneness with the Creator, that life-giving force as we breathe deep, this realization of who we are. And the mind brings back life into our own lives. And so continue with this breath, relaxing the body. Anytime the mind wanders, we come back to that mirror reflection. So as you just continue to breathe at a comfortable pace, not labored, just a gentle, comfortable awareness, you're seeing and feeling that heart as if it is breathing in and the heart is breathing out. Bringing these in sync. And so often our mind waves are literally operating in one frequency pattern while our heart is in an entirely different, and they're not coherent. And so as we continue to bring our mind and our heart into awareness, we'll see this level out into a pattern that is smooth and so incredibly powerful. So as our focus is on gratitude towards this breath, this realization of life within us, of this indwelling presence, that God is not out there somewhere, but his life is in us, we begin to open to the still, small voice. We begin to hear the life that is being sung over our own lives. And then as we receive that life and that breath, we're able to allow that to just flow into the world around us. So as we continue to breathe, receive, know that we are not alone in this world, that the busyness of the mind and the externals do not dictate the peace that resides within us. We come into that place of life, that ruach breath, the resonance of Yahweh. We can breathe in Yah and exhale Way. Shifting into an awareness of Yah as we breathe in and exhale. Hey. Again, inhale, Yah. Exhale, Hey. So I invite you, whether hand is on the heart or relaxing on your lap, let's take a moment and just practice that at our own pace. Breathing in Yah and exhaling Way. Softening through the shoulders as you continue to breathe. Softening the face, relaxing between the brow. Feeling that breath of life surrounding you, moving within you. In your midst is the presence of God. We are never alone. He is always speaking. He is always loving, nurturing, speaking life into you. Now let's take a nice deep cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Placing our hands on our heart. Let's do that again together. Take a nice deep belly breath in all the way, pulling all the way up from our source, from our root. Filling those lungs, holding at the top, just gently allowing the breath to float. And let all of that out. Let's take our shoulders, shrug them all the way up to our ears, really nice and tight. And then just rotate those shoulders back. Allow those scapula to just slide down your back. Let's take those shoulders up again. We're making a complete circle all the way up to the ears. And rotating back, just getting a nice stretch throughout the upper back, middle back. Let's reverse that just to keep it balanced. Bring those shoulders from the back up towards the front, all the way up to the ears, circling around. One more time. Round back, up towards the ears, and forward. A little movement in the fingers. Perhaps moving the head a little from side to side. And when you're ready, opening your eyes if you haven't already. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me for this introductory little bit of breath work, little bit of meditative heart-brain coherence practice. And if you'd like to do more of this, we will have a Zoom call. So reach out, private message me, and we'll share the link. Thanks for joining me. It was an honor and a privilege.